Hello everyone and welcome to another News Coolum video. I'm here at a Tesla Supercharger in Yuba City, California, and I'm here with my Chevrolet Bolt EV, and no, I'm not charging because this Supercharger is not one of the ones that Tesla opened for non-Tesla EVs, for CCS EVs, so I can't really charge here. I just happen to be here in the area. I figured I'd stop by because I do owe you all a update, I think, and just in terms of my impressions on the Tesla CCS implementation, how they're going to play into the greater public charging infrastructure, the kind of support that they're actually offering, and really the hurdles that they're going to see moving forward. Because while I know a lot of people are really big on this Tesla opening up to non-Tesla EVs, I don't think it's going to have as much of an impact as people believe. And I think Tesla is a lot farther behind than people believe in terms of playing in that public charging infrastructure. And frankly, it isn't a great experience for non-Tesla EVs using the superchargers. And I think that's kind of by design. I think Tesla is purposely opening superchargers that aren't going to have an impact on the public charging experience, on CCS EV ownership. They're intentionally making it punitively expensive to charge a non-Tesla EV on their superchargers. A lot of their superchargers are older anyway, so you're already not going to be seeing the sort of larger, faster, better sites that Tesla is putting in place for their own vehicles. And then the CCS adapter itself is, it seems, almost arbitrarily derated at a lower power level, a power level that might be fine for older CCS EVs, something like the Bolt EV, but is woefully behind the newer, faster cars. And the faster charging CCS EVs that don't really need the higher current rate, they need a higher voltage rate, and these superchargers are 400 volt rated. So really, I think until Tesla starts deploying their V4 superchargers, they're not going to be adding that much to the experience. I know people talk about reliability too, but we're already seeing interoperability issues where the Hyundai Ioniq 5, you're 50-50 shot whether you're even going to be able to charge on a supercharger. And then even if you are, like I said, that 400 volt limitation means you're going to be charging at a very slow rate. Same with things like the Lucid Air or whatnot. So I think overall what we're seeing right now is just not that great. And then of course Tesla has never been great about paying at the point of sale. No credit card readers, no displays, no interface, no way to interact. And I think that's another big thing. And I don't know that even the V4 superchargers fix that. And in addition, most of the superchargers, they're all pull-in parking. They are designed for small cars, sedans. Not really, designed for the larger EVs, for pull-through EVs. Even though Tesla has been one of the first EV companies to offer towing in their vehicles, their superchargers don't really support it all that well. Not without detaching your trailer. A pull-in spot, even if it's still only a single spot, does not support an EV that's towing. So with all of this, right, like I said, I think I might be a much cooler on this implementation than a lot of people are, because frankly, it's not really adding anything. And so just to sum up, here are some of the very specific things that, based on my experience with the superchargers, I really don't think that they're going to be a massive game changer in any way, at least not until V4 is released, their V4 superchargers. And even then, I feel like, just putting it bluntly, I feel like Tesla is behind. Because by the time those V4 superchargers go in, Electrify America will have added a significant number of sites and chargers to their network, including a sort of newer emphasis on pull-through parking that Electrify America has cited. EVgo will have at least 200 of their, and maybe 300 or 400 of their 350 kilowatt sites online that all really support pull-through parking before, as far as we know, the first V4 supercharger even goes into the ground in the United States. So especially those EVgo Flying J pilot networks, those are going to be very helpful for travelers, and it's not something that Tesla is really supporting right now. Like I said, large vehicles towing that can support both 500 plus amps of current and 1,000 volts of charging speed. And then of course, then there's Rivian. Rivian is the big elephant in the room. Rivian is actually deploying 500 amp, they say 1,000 volt, and we have to assume that when Rivian starts releasing their Max Pack, those Rivian Adventure Network chargers are going to be capable of outputting 300 to 400 kilowatt reasonably with a lot of these vehicles. And Rivian has already announced, RJ Scarin's has already announced that Rivian has plans to open their network, which it would make sense for them to do for NEVI funding, all of that. They qualify, might as well. Billions in the coffer to build out a network that everybody can use. Average number of chargers is 6 per site, supports pull-through and large format vehicles. So even Rivian in that way is ahead of Tesla. And then we haven't even gotten to the pricing. The pricing for non-Teslas to use the supercharger networks that are open right now, the sites that are open, is absurd. It cost me $15 just to put half of a battery charge in my Bolt EV. That's like 40% more than what I would be paying at EVgo or Electrify America or a lot of the charge point sites even that are frankly overpriced, especially California Energy Commission sites. They're not even that expensive. So you're talking about a super expensive thing. The site format, I had to park in the rightmost stall to make sure I'm not blocking other vehicles, and so the next CCS vehicle can access or another Tesla can access, and it will always leave a dead stall because of the way the site is designed. But that's what it is. And then, like I said, the sites that they are opening, I had to go out of my way to go to Placerville to go to a supercharger site that was open. Now it worked out because I was testing the 2023 Chevrolet Bolt EUV Redline, and I wanted to test out the Super Cruise functionality on rural highways. So I figured out a way, I finagled a way to visit that supercharger in Placerville as well. But I would have normally never gone there. And if I were traveling that Highway 50 route, I still wouldn't have used the supercharger because there are better EVgo and Electrify America's charging sites on that route just within a half dozen miles, right? Or a couple dozen miles of that site, basically bookending it on either way. They have better amenities, a better stop, fits better, and just a better charging experience overall, especially if you have a faster charging CCS EV. So that Placerville site really didn't do anything for the public charging infrastructure, yet, yeah, had they opened their superchargers in Susanville, that would have been huge, right? Because even Rivian isn't covering that section of Highway 395. So the areas where Tesla is opening, the format of their charging sites, the pricing that they're doing, the 350 amp limitation on their CCS adapter, which I know is arbitrary, they're pumping over 500 amps through their own proprietary CCS adapter for their vehicles to use the public charging infrastructure. So you know that they've reduced the current that's available through their built-in Magic Dock CCS hardware. Why? I guess just to basically deter CCS EV owners from wanting to use the Tesla network. And I think, honestly, this isn't a bad thing. All of these issues that we're seeing, plus the reduced power, the higher prices, I think this is Tesla saying we're prioritizing our customers. And at the end of the day, if you buy a non-Tesla EV, if you want to use our network, you can on occasion, but the experience is going to be much worse than your experience using a public charging network. So use them instead if you can. So it's essentially Tesla taking that middle road where they don't piss off their customer base, but they don't encourage non-Tesla EV owners to use their network too much. So it's that sort of balancing act, which in some ways might be perfect, because I really think the larger EV community needs to understand that there's a lot more out there than just Tesla, and frankly there's a lot more out there than just Electrify America. I know Kyle is, he's trying to do these juxtapositions with CCS versus Supercharger, but it keeps coming back to Electrify America versus the Tesla Supercharger. There are a lot more options. Yeah, the gaps are still pretty big. Yeah, the coverage is not quite there. But in terms of power, in terms of site design, in terms of speed of the chargers, there are a lot of options out there beyond Tesla and beyond Electrify America. And I think people are going to start to realize as they use the Tesla Superchargers more that, yeah, there are still payment issues, there's still app issues, there are still interoperability issues for some EVs, there's still limited power, right? You can complain about the Electrify America chargers not putting out the rated power, but when you're guaranteed to only get 120 to 130 kilowatt on even a V3 supercharger, it might start to change people's perceptions and see, all right, maybe we really do need to start being a little bit more open and agnostic about the chargers that we do choose to use. So, like I said, I'm never going to be critical of Tesla for opening their superchargers, regardless of their motivation. But I'm also personally, my philosophy is if you're going to do something, just do it right. And I don't know that Tesla is doing that. They may be doing it right by their customers or the needs of their business. But as far as CCS EV owners are concerned, I don't know that their implementation is nearly as good as it needs to be. And it's certainly at a point right now where I don't agree with people who say Tesla is going to dominate the charging infrastructure in 5, 10, 15 years. With what I'm seeing, they're going to be a player, but unless they make significant changes, their customer base is going to be 99% Tesla, with a smattering of other EV owners who occasionally fall into a supercharger site and happen to use it because it's there, it's convenient, or whatnot. So I'd love to hear what you think. Do you think I'm way off base on this? Do you disagree with my assertion that some of the other public charging providers are making a lot more headway than they're getting recognition for right now? In particular, I'm looking at these networks like EVgo, I'm looking at these networks like Rivian, where they're building a lot of chargers, and when those finally get open to the public, I think that Rivian is going to make a much bigger impact on the public charging infrastructure landscape than Tesla is, based on what we've seen so far. So I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and thank you for watching.